Alert! The Black Sea just changed again. In a strike no one saw coming, Ukraine has turned Russia's safe harbor into a burning kill zone. Novorossiysk, once Moscow's fallback stronghold, is now lit by fireballs as precision drones cut through the night and hit where it hurts most. One of the fleet's last operational warships is caught in the blast. And this time there is no shield, no warning, no escape. Because this wasn't just an attack, it was a message. Calculated, surgical, devastating. What happened next inside the fleet exposes a weakness Moscow can no longer hide. So the real question is, was this a one-time strike? Or the beginning of a complete naval collapse? On April 6th, the head of Ukraine's unmanned systems forces, Robert Brovdy, took to Telegram with raw pride to announce the latest triumph. Ukrainian drone operators working in perfect coordination with the Security Service of Ukraine zeroed in on the Black Sea Fleet's new hideout in Novorossiysk, where Russia had fled after 4 years of failure and humiliation in Sevastopol. The drones came in low and relentless, their warheads locked on the target. The Admiral Makarov desperately lit up the darkness, firing air defense missiles straight from its deck. In a frantic last stand, yet every single launch failed miserably. The Ukrainian drones weaved through the barrage, closed the distance, and slammed home with devastating force, turning the frigate into a floating inferno of flames and secondary explosions that lit the horizon for miles. Brovdy called the ship a floating scab that Ukraine had finally ripped away. And the description fits perfectly because this warship had been a constant thorn in Ukraine's side even after the Black Sea Fleet ran for what it thought was safety. Defense Express confirms the Makarov was one of only 3 such frigates Russia ever built, and the very last operational vessel in the fleet, still able to launch Kaliber cruise missiles against Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. Those missiles, with their 2,500-kilometer range, carry 450-kilogram warheads, travel at supersonic speeds while hugging the terrain, and have rained terror on Ukraine for years. Russia fired 138 of them in March alone. Yet that number represented a 52% drop from the previous month, showing how badly the campaign is already crumbling. Ukraine's strike removes that threat in one surgical knife. The released 2-minute video captures the drama in chilling detail. Russian air defenses flash wildly across the sky, but the Ukrainian drones press forward undeterred, their sizable warheads, most likely delivered by the long-range FP1 model, striking with precision that leaves the Makarov crippled and likely out of the fight forever. This is not just a hit on a ship. It is Ukraine methodically erasing Russia's ability to strike from the sea, and the hatred fueling every Ukrainian operator shines through in the relentless execution. While the world focuses on the fireballs, the true scandal lies in the silicon and code. Intelligence sources suggest that the Mothership USV's unmanned surface vessels seen near Novorossiysk aren't just transport crafts, they are mobile electronic warfare EW nodes. For the first time, we are seeing signal shadowing technology. These USVs emit a frequency blanketing field that creates a ghost fleet on Russian radar, while Russian operators were hunting for non-existent targets 20 miles out at sea. The FP5 swarms were already hovering inches above the Admiral Makarov's vertical launch systems. This is the Aegis Killer protocol. We've seen leaked telemetry suggesting that the FP1 drones utilized a new acoustic homing chip, allowing them to track the specific engine vibration of Burevestnik-class frigates. It didn't matter if Russia turned off their GPS or jammed the radio. The drones heard the ship's heartbeat and followed it to the kill. This transition from remote-controlled toys to autonomous hunter-killers marks the definitive end of 20th century naval doctrine. If a $500 drone can sniff out a $500 million frigate, the era of the surface fleet is officially over. But the night's fury did not stop with the frigate. Ukrainian unmanned systems forces, backed by the Navy, turned their attention to the Sivash self-elevating oil drilling platform, a supposed civilian rig that Russia had brazenly converted into a floating air defense radar station. Ukrainian patrol boats acted as daring motherships carrying FPV drones across distances the smaller craft could never manage alone. Once positioned, the sea drones released their lethal payloads. FPV drones swarmed the platform's radar arrays, delivering primary and secondary strikes that tore through the installations in rapid succession. Drone footage shows the impacts, up-close explosions ripping across the deck, thick black smoke billowing into the sky, and Russian defenses left powerless against the ingenuity of Ukrainian forces. Russia thought the rig would shield its fleet from above. Ukraine proved it was just another target and destroyed it with the same cold precision that has already sunk well over a third of the Black Sea fleet. A nation with almost no traditional navy has turned the entire sea into a graveyard for Russian assets through sheer creativity and courage. Listeners, picture yourself right there in the Black Sea right now. Flames leap from a burning frigate. Smoke rises from a destroyed radar platform, and an oil terminal lies crippled under drone swarms while Russian crews scramble in panic. This is the new reality of the war. Ukraine's 1,600-kilometer drone strike that destroyed Novorossiysk in a fireball seen from space has turned the once-dreaded Black Sea fleet into a flock of sitting ducks trapped in port and unable to dominate anything. Russia's plan for total naval control, grain blockade, and amphibious landings from Crimea has collapsed into total embarrassment. Over 4 years into the invasion, Moscow finds itself far from victory and sinking deeper into defeat. The impact on Ukraine's exports is now negligible because Ukrainian forces have pushed Russian warships away from vital routes and focused their fire on the few vessels still able to launch calibers at Ukrainian cities. Every strike weakens Russia's military machine and starves its war chest of the oil revenue Putin desperately needs. But let's look at the numbers because money is the fuel of this war. The strike on Sheskharis didn't just burn oil, it severed the Druzhba South financial artery. By targeting the specific loading arms, custom-built German and Italian hardware that Russia can no longer import due to sanctions, Ukraine has created a repair lock. Experts estimate that even if the fires are out by tomorrow, the specialized pipeline control nodes destroyed in the April 6th blitz will take years to replace. This is economic extinction. With 3.2 million tons of crude now log-jammed, the Urals-grade oil price is decoupling from global benchmarks. Putin is facing a negative revenue trap. He must keep pumping oil to prevent wellhead freezing in Siberia, but he has nowhere to ship it. This forces Russia to sell to Shadow Fleet tankers at a 40% discount, essentially subsidizing their buyers, while their own war chest bleeds out at a rate of $80 million per day. We are witnessing the first algorithm-driven economic blockade in history. Strategists at NATO are calling this the Novorossiysk precedent. It proves that maritime denial no longer requires a billion-dollar destroyer. Ukraine has effectively turned the Black Sea into an A2/AD anti-access/area denial bubble, using nothing but fiber optics and fiberglass. The Mothership, US Vise, are now suspected of carrying mesh network relays, allowing them to operate even when Russia activates its most powerful Krasuka jamming systems. The campaign stretches far beyond the Black Sea. In the latter half of March, Ukrainian drones hammered Primorsk and Ust-Luga in the Baltic seaports that together handle 40% of Russia's oil exporting capacity. Massive fires visible as far as Finland forced shutdowns and left 50 tankers log-jammed in the Gulf of Finland. Russia has already lost nearly $1 billion in expected revenue, and the losses continue to mount with every new strike. Ukraine is not simply defending. It is dismantling the financial backbone of Putin's invasion with surgical precision. Every dollar burned at these terminals is a dollar that cannot buy missiles, tanks, or pay soldiers. As Putin's cash reserves dry up, his war machine crumbles, making it easier for Ukrainian forces to launch even deeper strikes and ease pressure on the ground front. The days leading to April 6th have been spectacularly productive for Ukraine. A key frigate lies burning air defenses on a critical platform are destroyed, and a major oil terminal is shut down, creating safer corridors for future operations. Russia's air defenses failed completely, its fleet hides in fear, and its oil exports grind to a halt. The hatred between the two sides burns brighter than the flames themselves, yet Ukraine channels that fury into victory after victory, while Russia proves time and again it cannot counter the asymmetric brilliance of Ukrainian drone tactics. Listeners, this is the moment that defines the war. Ukraine's drone operators have turned vulnerability into dominance and shown the world what a determined nation can achieve against a larger foe. What do you think happens next when a fleet that once ruled the Black Sea is reduced to hiding while its oil lifeline burns? Does this relentless campaign finally break Russia's ability to sustain the invasion, or will Putin find some desperate new defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because your voice matters in this unfolding drama, and the world is watching every second. As the fires rage over Novorossiysk, one truth stands clear. Ukraine refuses to stop striking vulnerable targets until Russia can no longer use them. The Black Sea is no longer a Russian lake. It is a battlefield where Ukrainian ingenuity and courage rewrite the rules of naval warfare every single night. Putin's once mighty fleet is in full retreat. Its oil revenue is choking, and its air defenses are powerless against the drone swarms that keep coming. The hatred may fuel the conflict, but Ukraine's precision and resolve are turning it into triumph. The fight is far from over, yet Ukraine is dictating the tempo, and Russia is struggling to keep up. What side of history are you on when a smaller force humiliates a superpower through sheer determination? Tell us in the comments below. The drones are still flying, the flames are still rising, and the next chapter is coming faster than anyone expected. Stay locked on this channel, because the war in the Black Sea is heating up, and Ukraine is showing the world exactly how to win against the odds. The sea never sleeps, and neither does the watch. Disclaimer: this video contains content generated or supported in whole or in part by artificial intelligence. This material is intended solely for simulation, illustration, and entertainment purposes. It does not represent real-world events, nor does it constitute political or military advice or verified information. Certain elements may be fictional, dramatized, or inaccurate. Viewers should not rely on this video as a credible source of information or as a basis for real-world decision-making.